started again. We have a very special award ceremony today. So I'd just like to call upon the people that have been working on this to make sure they're at the stage here. Again, I would like to thank everybody. I hope they're enjoying themselves. You got good food in front of you, lots of people. I'd also like to thank our lived experience people for coming in, because I'll tell you right now how difficult it is. They look at this room and they want to run, right? So can you imagine, you know, living on the streets and being by yourself so much, and then you walk into this room, right? It could be pretty intimidating. So I like to see smiles on everybody's faces. When you look at everyone else, you're going to say, hello, right? Because it is very hard to walk into a room like this, very intimidating. So with all that said, I'd like to actually, where'd he go? Luke? Where'd Luke go? Luke was here. Oh, here he comes. My partner in crime here. This is Luke Johns, and I'm very honored that Luke is a part of this. For the fact that, yeah, we do a lot of work in our community. We work for an ad hoc committee, Branches of Native Development, called BOND. And this is where we've learned all these different skills in doing our ceremonies and doing our, you know, the cultural activities. So I'd like to introduce Luke Johns, who I admire very much because he's taught me so much in, you know, the last 20 years working with him, even though he's a lot younger than me. But I've learned so much from him and his family. So anyway, with further ado, this is Luke Johns, and he's going to speak about the Eagle staff and some of the ceremonial things that we've been working on. He's a little nervous, I know he is, so I'm going to make him more nervous now saying that. But anyway, Luke Johns.
Hello. Good afternoon. Thanks, Yvonne, for that introduction. They've asked for me to speak about this Eagle staff here that we have. About a year ago, or just under a year ago, I worked for Urban Native Homes here in Hamilton, and I was program coordinator for the men's residence on Kenilworth. And part of being in there, I was only in there for about a year when they asked me to put together this Eagle staff. And this Eagle staff was to represent survivors of homelessness and those that did not make it, that did not survive homelessness. So I went on a little journey of myself, and along with a lot of the Aboriginal men that were there as well, learning how to put together an Eagle staff. And some of them are here today. One of the first things that we had to decide is how we were going to present it. As you can see, there's three different versions of the Eagle staff here. And so this particular style here best suited what we wanted to do. I get to talk about, explain what this Eagle staff is for right on in the writing, survivors of homelessness. So the eagle feathers that I carry, they come from birds that are still with us and that were homeless. So the eagles themselves were homeless. And so the other eagle feathers that we have on there came from people in the community, so other agencies. So I put a call out to all the other agencies to be part of this eagle staff. And some of them had responded with eagle feathers, and some still have yet to donate a feather for the staff. And it's one of the things that we learned was we asked people in our community or other agencies or other territories that are close. So there has eagle feathers from Six Nations and New Credit, as long as with the other eagle feathers there. I'm not going to talk about those agencies that donated. They know who they are, and that way I don't want to point anybody out. But I'm still waiting for more from the community, and I hope that they will always come. So this Eagle staff will always be building and working, and it'll never be completed. It'll always be working in there. So myself, I donate some eagle feathers on the side here. I can't really see. I'm going to show here. So there was a couple of people that the men's residence, they passed away and they didn't make it. So we recognize all the other ones that in the community, and these feathers on the string here represent those that did not make it or did not survive. And so we put those smaller feathers, those body feathers on the string there, and I was always add to it as we go along, as people wanted to have those recognized. So when I spoke to our elder, who's watching the fire right now, I'm going to see if I can move this here because my head's getting sore. When I spoke to our elder, I told him the story of what we were trying to do with this Eagle staff, and he said that he will help us honor that. And so last year at the Soaring Spirit Festival, we brought this Eagle staff out for the first time into the community. There's a lot of different donations that were of eagle feathers from different community members as well. So when we were just about to put it out there, Dave, who came to me and he says, I wanted to donate these 2 feathers when he talked about, when I told him about those ones that didn't survive, and it made him think about these 2 eagle feathers that he has right there. Those are was from an eagle that he had found an abandoned eaglet or juvenile, and he was on the ground, and he tried to nurture it and bring it back and help it survive. So it was like this little eagle was homeless, and he tried to nurse it back into good health. But this little eagle didn't make it. So he wanted to donate these eagle feathers for those to recognize those that didn't survive. So all this, everything that was presented on this eagle staff was from those homeless eagles. It was put together by survivors of homelessness at the men's residence. So that's part of what I have here in this eagle staff. If you wish to donate an eagle feather, you can do so to represent your cause for your fight for homelessness. This eagle staff doesn't technically have a home right now in this community. I am carrying it, but I should have someone to take care of it as well. So we're still looking for that. If any agency want to step up to that and take care of these things, and that's okay. I'm okay to take care of it as well. So that brings me to my next story. Is we have these awards that was put together by my family, my wife, and myself, and my brother. We were to put these designs together. But the eagle feathers themselves, they come from the same bird that's on the staff that represents homelessness. And so I just wanted to bring that awareness and that significance to these awards that what I donated. And so that's my connection to that, and that's part of my love that goes into that. So I can talk more.
Who dressed the feathers?
Oh. So I put together a couple of designs, and my wife, Kristen, who is over there, so there she did a lot of work putting these beading together, and there's like really tiny beads. I couldn't do it myself, but she worked really hard in putting those together and then dressed them all up, and I think it's a pretty amazing job.
Thank you, Luke. It's now my pleasure to introduce Victoria Bombury to come on up on stage. She will be presenting the local Aboriginal Lifetime Achievement Awards. And Victoria, come on in, has been one of the people who have put an incredible amount of work into this conference. So please join me in thanking and welcoming Victoria.
Thank you. What's going to horada sewa go Victoria Bomber ni young yat Six Nations ni wagana dana go higan ziwa got tununi gan ida west ne de tuna horada giga asa ni gundi. My name is Victoria Bomber. I'm from Six Nations, and I'm extremely honored to be here with you today, especially to honor the 3 individuals that we recognize through these awards. Before I begin, I would like to thank Tim and CAEH for not only welcoming the idea of these awards, but providing the resources, support, and of course the platform today to shine a light on the incredible work being done in our communities. Thank you, Tim. The experience of homelessness for Indigenous peoples in Canada is unique. If you'll permit me, I would like to share a brief excerpt from the definition of Indigenous homelessness in Canada as articulated by Jesse Thistle. Unlike the common colonialist definition of homelessness, Indigenous homelessness is not defined as lacking a structure of habitation. Rather, it is more fully described and understood through a composite lens of Indigenous worldviews. That was a part of the inspiration for our awards. And so when we're addressing homelessness experienced by Indigenous peoples, we must recognize and address the root causes of their experiences, such as loss of relationships to land, water, place, family, as well as languages, identities, and cultures. Eliminating homelessness, particularly for Indigenous peoples, requires a community effort. It will take the intentional and coordinated work of many organizations, workers, and community leaders. Within these groups, of course, there are individuals whose passions and commitment to uplifting our communities inspires us all every day to give our best. It is with this in mind today we recognize these 3 extraordinary individuals for their impact they have had on the lives of our community members experiencing homelessness, their colleagues, as well as our communities as a whole. We thank them for passionately giving their time, energy, and spirit to eliminate homelessness in our community. Through their use and promotion of traditional knowledge and culture, they have changed our communities for the better. Now, before I begin, I would like to give an acknowledgement to all of our nominees who did equally amazing work. We acknowledge Yvonne Miracle, who is a conference elder for us. Elizabeth Gray. And Vern Harper, who has passed on to the sky world. Now, I would like to call Melanie Mccauley up to the stage and thank her. Tim, if you would want to. Melanie Mccauley is the Executive Director of Sacagawea Nonprofit Housing for the last 25 years. Sacagawea has grown extraordinarily under Melanie's leadership. We recognize her work not only within Sacagawea in providing housing and supports for families and individuals with low income at risk of homelessness by providing safe and affordable housing. Melanie works tirelessly throughout our community on many boards and organizations. Thank you, Melanie.
Thank you. This is such a humbling experience. I've been working 25 years here in Hamilton, and I forgot to do this. Okay, sorry. Melanie Disnikas, Hamilton Dinjaba, Mississauga's a new credit in the dump. Telling you my name and where I'm from and what my reserve is. And I want to thank my family that's been behind me too for tireless times that I've had to work with a good heart. As everybody knows, I'm not a very good speaker. But I speak from my heart, and I don't prepare anything. But thank you again, everybody. Okay.
Next, I would like to call up Janice D Lee Lewis. Janice is Oneida Nation from the Thames. She is married with 3 sons, 13 grandchildren, and 2 great-grandchildren. Janice was born and raised in Hamilton and has been an active member in our community since the 1970s. Her journey first began with her mother at the Métis organization, and she's since followed up through being active in many of the local Indigenous organizations. Between 1981 and 2015, Janice was the executive director of Urban Native Homes. During her time, she oversaw the expansion of Urban Native Homes' portfolio from 2 units to 262 units. Under Janice's leadership, UNH also developed a seniors apartment called Gugadawin that provided affordable housing, 24 affordable housing units, as well as Indigenous supports and services. She also oversaw the development of the Indigenous Men's Housing Project. We thank Janice for her tireless work.
Just want to say a few words. I want to thank the ABCAP committee, the Canadian Alliance of Ending Homelessness. I want to thank my husband and sons for all their support and always being ready and willing to help me with my many projects and events over my 35 years in Aboriginal housing. Most of all, I want to acknowledge the Hamilton Aboriginal community, the clients I served over the years, all my lasting my memories and the friendships, all that I'll always treasure. I'm confident that our Hamilton community will continue the struggle to end homelessness. And I thank you for acknowledging my contribution to eliminating homelessness. Thank you.
Our third and final award is a posthumous award to Adeline. She was, as described by her community, she was a genuine, kind, loving, and warm-hearted woman. She had a loving passion for the work she did for our community, and she received everyone she met like family. She worked with the Hamilton Regional Indian Center for many years, and upon her retirement was active as a volunteer as well for our community. Accepting on her behalf is her daughter, Vicky Benedetti. Please join me in giving me a warm applause for our amazing women.
What do you want?
Oh, they're going to give you an honor song just before we go.
Okay, great.
My apologies. Luke is going to join us again, and we're going to give our amazing women an honor song for their work.
As we are doing an honor song, I would like to ask everybody to stand, please. If you're a male with a hat, please remove it. Thank you. Thank you. You could take a seat. Okay, we're going this way.